It's Two on the Aisle with me, Charles Gross, and Leslie Hoban Blake. Tonight, reviews of N.A. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Two on the Aisle.
And hello again, Miss Blake.
Good evening, Mr. What was your name again?
Gross.
Yes, I know.
G-R-O-S-S.
No comment. I'm going to start with N/A. I don't really know how to say it. N/A, N/A. It's a new play by Mario Correa. It stars Holland Taylor and Ana Villafañe, and it's directed by Diane Paulus. That sometimes is a wonderful thing and sometimes not so. I didn't care for 1776 with all women, but that's okay. Anyway, this was a beautifully done, as far as direction goes, play. It's a very short play. It was roughly 80 to 85 minutes, I think, maybe 90. And it is only a two-character play. And the two characters, N stands for, well, you might think Nancy Pelosi, and A stands for, well, you might think Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, because that's what they stand for. In fact, I'm wearing my hair in honor of Miss Cortez. You see? A.O.C. This is the hairstyle. You'll never see me in this hairstyle again, I don't think. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, it's the two-character play. It's probably shorter than the time it's taking me to talk about it. It's the two of them. It begins on the day that A.O.C. gets to Washington and stands in Nancy Pelosi's office, and Nancy Pelosi comes in and says, "Oh my God, you're so young." And that's the tenor of the play. It's all about youth versus age. It's all about left and center versus left and left.
But more importantly, it is about getting things done and how they plan to do it. And you have Pelosi, she's the grizzled veteran, and you have A.O.C., who is the young, eager. And you look at how A.O.C. has been carrying on in her time in office, and she makes a lot of waves.
Carrying on, interesting.
She makes a lot. She makes a lot of waves.
She does.
She makes a lot of noise. Does she get many bills passed? Actually, not really. And then you look at Nancy Pelosi, who talks about procedure and managed to get health care.
Yeah.
It's the moderates that often get things done. Joe Biden got this huge infrastructure bill done, and in her 2+ terms, she really hasn't. She's made a lot of noise, hasn't done much, and I think that's the crux of it. Pelosi is saying, listen, we have a method of how we do things here, and Cortez is saying, well, maybe it's time to change that.
Well, yeah, but the problem is also that it's fixed. The play is fixed. It's obviously leaning toward, we want Pelosi to do the things that she does because she does them well. And she's trying to tell this young person that she's a veteran and she can tell her that. And the young person is just like any child, because she is like 29 years old, that I don't want to do it your way, I want to do it my way. And that is the real problem. It's, do you do it for what's best for the people, or do you do it for what's best for your own feeling of self-worth, whether it's your image or whatever else? And she has lost quite a few constituents. I mean, since she didn't have that many to start with, 2 or 3 is a lot this time. But it also, I think, is brilliant in its way of showing the two of them and speaking from many speeches of theirs. You could actually find them in I'm looking because I have the script here, but I don't need to quote any of them.
Well, I think Pelosi gets the best lines. There's this one that I often tell people, when in negotiating, when you get to yes, stop talking. And that is a very good piece of advice.
Something I haven't learned
have
yet.
a strong respect for Pelosi. I frankly do not like A.O.C.
There are a lot of people who don't like her.
Well, her stance on Israel especially has been extremely galling to me. And
let's bring it back to the show, though.
Yes,
Okay.
the show I liked.
The show I liked too, and the two actresses. The veteran, of course, is Holland Taylor.
Yes.
Miss Taylor is over 80. She's playing a woman who is over 80. That's very in heels. You know the old joke about Ginger Rogers backwards and in heels? This woman walks around the stage and sits in heels, and I am just amazed. I can't do it. Okay, I can't wear heels, period. And Ana Villafañe was, of course, Gloria Estefan in Step Up. That was her, you know. And so that was quite Yeah, so they're two very good actresses.
They are two very good actresses.
Different styles, different
styles,
everything,
but Holland really walks away with the show.
Well, they give Holland all the punchlines,
yes,
you know.
Exactly. And
Taylor.
she gets everything out of them. You may also know her from 2.5 Men.
Well, that and many, and Anne, the show that she wrote for herself about the governor of Texas.
Yes, which she was brilliant in.
She was brilliant, and it was a brilliant script. Too.
Yes, I mean she listen, Speaker of the House, Governor of Texas. She's done.
Where does she go
She's
now?
done pretty well.
But yeah, you know what's interesting is I don't even know how she memorizes these lines. They're not easy. This is dialogue.
Well,
this is thick dialogue.
She's a pro, and she does it.
She is a treasure. She's a theatrical treasure, and she should be treated as such. I hope she is. Anyway, I liked this play very much. I saw people to the right and the left of me dozing off.
Right.
I understand that. Sometimes if I see a one-person or a two-person show and it's very talky, that happens to me. But I was really interested in this, and so it held my interest.
It held my interest, too. Certainly, Diane Paulus did a much better job here than she did with 1776.
Well, there's only two characters.
Another show about politics.
She could have cast it with all men. I mean, you know.
Well, she could.
She could have. I'm glad
however,
she didn't. I'm glad she didn't.
Frankly, I declined to dress up as Nancy Pelosi for this this segment. I might have, if you had given me a gavel, I'd,
right,
you know,
right. You would have done that.
It,
anyway,
her gavel is an important.
I would give this a
part of
4.
The show.
It's a lot. It's a controversial play. A lot of the critics didn't care for it. I wish that more people would go see it, because it's a fair. It's unfair in that Nancy Pelosi seems to win, but at the end of the play, she leaves, and she leaves A.O.C. So who's really winning? You know, it's.
Well, you know, we know what Nancy Pelosi has accomplished. We will see what, if anything, AOC accomplishes.
We just hope that AOC picks up something, that it rubs off a little bit.
Well, that doesn't appear to have been the case.
And
but
what would you give it?
I would not give AOC any playbills, but I will give this show 4 playbills.
For Holland Taylor?
For Holland Taylor.
Right.
Well, for the characters.
Okay.
And for the writing. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed myself.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I did want to say one thing before we move on, and that is this is a new thing that's happening this year. 2 different plays, biographical plays, about people that they're not about. In other words, Stereophonic is not about Fleetwood Mac, but it just looks like Fleetwood Mac. And Ed and A is not about Nancy, and according to the writer, is not about Nancy and Alexandra, but it is. So,
well,
what does that mean?
He says that this play is, quote, and I quote, heavily researched and lightly imagined. So, yeah, I think it is.
Yes, I think we can all agree on that. Okay.